Okay, so welcome back. In this part, we're going to be allowing our .rss extension for our PHP file. This will basically mean that we can have our file as a .rss extension in our browser, which means that we can have something that looks like this. And this will then be executed in exactly the same way. So we'll have a dynamic RSS feed with an RSS extension. Now you saw just a moment ago I had my http.conf file open in my text editor, and I also had this open. This was just to demonstrate where to find this. So I'm using XAMPP, so it's in C drive, XAMPP, Apache, and then conf, and this is the httpd.conf file. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and do a search for add type, and this is going to bring us to where we can define what files are read in terms of our server. So basically what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and add an additional type that allows PHP files to be read with the RSS extension. So I'm going to go ahead and paste this in, save typing it, but basically we're saying add this particular type, but allow it to be readable with the .rss extension. So once you've done this, you're going to need to go ahead and save and close your httpd.conf file, and you'll need to go ahead and restart Apache. And then once you've restarted Apache, you're going to need to come over to your feed.php and go ahead and rename this to feed.rss. Now the formatting's changed in my text editor, so I can just go ahead and change the syntax highlighting once again. I'm going to come over to my browser, and this time instead of feed.php, I'm going to change this to feed.rss, and you can see there's absolutely no difference here. It's been read as an RSS file, but it's been interpreted as PHP code, as a PHP application. So now that we've got this working, let's go ahead and implement this limit that we were speaking about earlier. So I'm going to create a variable just down here called limit, and I'm going to set this to a ternary operation, which we're going to check if the get variable has been set. If it has been set, we want to also check if it's less than or equal to 30, and then we'll set that into this variable to use here. So let's go ahead and set up our condition. The condition is whether $_get limit is set, so if that's equal to true, and $_get limit is less than or equal to 30, and we can also cast this to an int, because remember we can pass through text in a get parameter as well. So if that's the case, we want to go ahead and set this to $_get limit, and again we want to cast this to an integer because we're going to be including this in our query, so we don't want SQL injection to be possible here. Otherwise, we're going to set this to a default of 10. So basically, if limit hasn't been defined, we're going to set this to a default of 10. Or if the user specifies a number over 30, we're going to set this to 10. Otherwise, we're going to set this to the limit that's been defined. So well, I guess we also could check whether this is set to 0. So we can say and doesn't equal 0. So it can't equal 0, it has to be less than 30 or less than or equal to 30, and it obviously has to be set. What we can then do is pass this into our query. So let's go ahead and check this out. Hit enter, nothing's changed, we've still got 10 results here. Now let's go ahead and say limit equals 5. You can see that it's been limited to 5. We can do 1. We can do 0, but that will then revert to our 10. We can also do 30. However, we cannot do more than 30. It will just stay at our 10 limit. So in this short part of the tutorial, we have given our RSS feed an RSS extension by just modifying one line on our Apache httpd.conf file. And we've also implemented this limit here that allows the user using this RSS feed to specify how many stories or news stories or whatever the data is to be displayed in this RSS feed. So in this short series, we've created a valid RSS feed that dynamically pulls data from your database, has an RSS extension, and allows your user to define how many stories that they want to pull through.